tutorial we are going to learn how to implement a GET request using the Retrofit library in Android Studio. So to do this task you have to follow the steps as I tell you. First we create a project with empty activity and then come to the Gradle file and add these two implementations. These are the implementations for the Retrofit library and the JSON converter. Alright, then you have to come to your main activity.xml file and keep the text view as it is and keep this text view inside a scroll view. Alright, and then you have to you have just to see this, that we are going to use this JSON placeholder API as our API that we will use in this video. This is a fake API that returns dummy values. Okay, so for this get pose we will be getting these kinds of JSON file and with these kind of values. Okay, user ID, title, body. To retrieve these values from the API and show it in our app, we have to firstly create objects that in which we will be able to store these values. So we come into Android Studio project and create a data class named post, and here we add these variables. This we name one as ID, another title, and another body. We have to keep in mind that we have to give the name of the variable as the same as that of the key name in our API response. Okay, after this we have to create a JSON placeholder API interface. Here we will have to write the function for the API calling, and we name this function as getPost, and we get a value that is an object of call class and which has the parameters as the class of the kind of response that we will get. Here we get a list of these kind of posts, so we give here list of posts. We have to annotate with at get, and in the brackets we have to write this part of the URL. This will automatically generate the code that we need for the get request in our API. After this we have to come to our main activity and firstly initialize a late init variable of this class we just created, that this JSON placeholder API, and then we have to create a class of retrofit by writing retrofit.builder.base URL. In base URL we have to pass this part of our URL, and then .add converter factory where we pass instance of this JSON converter factory that create. Alright, and then lastly .build. This will actually create our instance of the Retrofit library. And then we create when we write this part of the code where we write JSON placeholder equals to retrofit.create, and inside create we pass this JSON placeholder API. This will create an instance of JSON placeholder API in this variable, and then we call this function getPost. We then write the getPost function where we firstly initialize a variable call where we take the instance of JSON placeholder API and give the function of the getPost. Then we have we call the function enqueue inside call. Now this enqueue is a kind of function that allows you to run our code in the background thread. Inside enqueue we create an object of instance of callback function, and which overrides two functions, that is on response and on failure. On failure is executed when the API calling is failed, in which we write the toast, which gives this throwable the two-string message of this throwable in two-string format. And when the response is successful, we create an object of post, okay, and we give the value as response dot body. Response is the actual response that we get from the API calling, and dot body gives the this whole write up. So when we call this response dot body, it takes the whole write up and puts in this variable. Then we iterate through this list, and keep adding the ID, title and body in the content, and create our response like this, and then append it into our text view. Alright, so let's run this application. Let's run this application. Our application is running and we are getting the response from this API. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.